Hello and welcome to an episode of the Farr Show where I'm Farr, and tonight we're talking about the KFConsole. And I know what you're thinking, Damien, the KFConsole, really? Wasn't that like 3 years ago? Yes and no. For me, it's just recent. So we're going to talk about it. So, the KFConsole, if you don't know, was a joke. But I wanted one. So I built one. So, Cooler Master, I don't know how long the website's going to exist, if I'm being honest. I kind of want to save the web page and keep it for future. I think that's what I'm going to end up doing, is saving myself a copy, so then I just have it for the future. I wanted one, so I built one. Kinda. Let's get into it a little bit here, let's go into the specs here is the best way to describe it. So, specs here... So CPU and motherboard, it used a Intel NUC 9 Extreme Compute Unit. The exact model that I grabbed here, which I think is the right thing, for the processor, it uses an Intel Core i9-9980HK. So it's technically a mobile processor, but you can get it from whatever, I think it's 2.4 gigahertz up to 5 gigahertz speed-wise by overclocking it. I know that's ridiculous to sound like here, but, you know, cool. Then, RAM, they never specified exactly what kind of RAM it was on the website, but I thought, RAM. I've almost always went with Corsair in any RAM that I needed. My laptop, I think, is still the original RAM. My first PC I built, I think, had RAM from Corsair. My Steamboat PC that I called it had Corsair RAM. The Atari upgrades that I've done for the Atari VCS systems, the new ones, which aren't great, but I upgraded them to Corsair RAM as well. So I stuck with Corsair because they never said exactly what company they used. I know that Corsair also makes cases and everything, but Cooler Master was the one making the case and everything. But I said, this is somewhere I can stick with something I know pretty easily, so... Even though I use Intel stuff, I've never used a NUC before, so this was a new experience. So I use Corsair Vengeance, 64 gigabytes. So it's 2 sticks of 32, 3,200 megahertz DDR4 RAM. They never specified, once again, the brand, gigabytes, or speed. So with their target that they were going for, they said 4K, 100 or 240 FPS. More RAM is better. And the max that the NUC can take is 64, so I said, let's just do 64. Because RAM's not that expensive anymore. I mean, I think this was $100. RAM's not too expensive. So, GPU. It never said specifically what it used. It was an Asus card, though. That's all it said. And I looked at the image a little bit. Though it didn't release around the time that they announced it, I just went with this because... it looked to the most like the image that they had on the website, which is an Asus NVIDIA GeForce RTX 3060 V2, 12 gigabytes of GDDR6 RAM. Originally, I used the one that I got from my old PC, which is a GeForce 2080, 8 gigabytes DDR6 RAM, and I felt like I wanted to get the more, realistic one that they would use, so I went with that. Though, spec-wise, they're pretty much the same, just one has more VRAM, if I'm being honest. Storage, we used a Seagate FireCuda, two Seagate FireCuda 530, so it ends up being 2 terabytes, but they're 1 terabyte each. M.2 SSDs, 7,300 megabits per second is the speed that they could go at. It doesn't always mean it'll be at that speed, but you get the idea. And then the case was the thing that I couldn't do. So it is a custom Cooler Master NUC NC100 case. And I couldn't get that. I don't have a 3D printer. I have no way to make one. So if somebody does, hook me up. So I just went with the Cooler Master NC100. And pretty much what happened, so long story short, why are we talking about this? Well, I built one this year. I built this exact spec, but I made a mistake, and I don't know what happened. I figured out that it might have been an Intel NUC thing, if I'm being honest, but what happened was I took this, put it all together, and I put it in the Cooler Master NUC 100 case, and then put in my old GPU, worked fine. I finally bought the new GPU, the 3060, and then suddenly put it in, worked fine still. Couple hours later, the thing froze and never turned back on. So I don't know what happened. A part of me thinks it might have been... so it's a known issue with the Nooks that I guess they have issues, and I don't know what would have caused the issue, but I guess they just get bricked once in a while. I don't know what caused it once again, but interesting. Or I have this feeling because the power supply that came with the actual case, the Cooler Master, I think may have fried it. But if it fried that, my RAM was still good, my GPU was still good, my storage was still good. So I think it was just something that happened with the Nook itself, but I don't know. Don't get me twisted here. First one fried after just a couple weeks or a couple hours after getting the new GPU. So I got a new one. It works fine so far. Knock on wood, it'll stay working. So I just wanted to talk about the KFConsole. You know, I wanted to give people a benchmark that they could build their own. So maybe you want to build your own. Maybe you're not crazy like me and you want to build a normal PC that you're not stuck to a Nook. Good for you if you do that. Don't do my route. I still want the original case, but I don't think I'll get that, so I'll just keep it in the NC100 case because it's pretty nice, honestly. So, what's your favorite game system of all time? I think mine's got to be the KFConsole. It's really just got Windows on it. It's not something special. Better, I really like the Atari VCS, even though I talk crap about them. I think it's cool, but it's terrible. I like dumb things. So, what's your favorite game console in the comments below? Or your favorite system overall? I mean, game system or PC. Whatever your favorite system. So, it could be any PC you built. Personally, I like the KFConsole because it's really small. And, like, better than the Xbox, which is surprising. It's better than the Xbox and PS5, but smaller than them, which is nuts. But, once again, tell me in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, hit that bell icon, and have a far off night.